Hi, my name is Cheyenne Morgan. I'm an analyst at TABB Group, and I'm joined by our Director of Research, Adam Sussman, at TABB Group. And today we're going to be talking about some news that recently broke. Riskmetrics was acquired by MSCI Barra. Adam, what do you think about this deal? Do you think it was defensive play or opportunistic play? What exactly do you think MSCI was trying to accomplish?
Yeah, I think that MSCI really saw this as a way to capitalize on some of the regulatory trends that they see and some of the things that their clients are going to need more of in the next 2 or 3 years that their product line didn't really address properly.
Right. So this is something that they did not have.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at their balance sheet and where their revenues were coming from, I mean, the majority of it was coming from their index product, which enjoys a relatively stable revenue stream. It's not as influenced by the number of companies or the number of seats.
Right.
So while the rest of the industry has been suffering, certainly there are a lot of businesses that are related to MSCI Barra. Their revenue wasn't impacted as much. But going forward 2 or 3 years from now, where you have regulatory and investment clients looking for better risk management reporting tools, looking for more frequent updates on things like net asset values, and their product line, which was pretty much equity focused, wasn't really maybe the best position to capitalize on these trends.
Right. And what do you think sparked MSCI to do this now?
Well, like I was saying, I think that the fact that they had a relatively stable revenue stream from their index products, allowed them to aggressively bid for Riskmetrics more so than some of the other bidders in the process who might have been more constrained, given that their revenues were more directly impacted by the same trends that were having a negative impact on Riskmetrics.
Right. Now, does this relate at all back to CME's acquisition of the Dow Jones indices?
Yeah. Well, what's interesting about comparing these two acquisitions was first, with MSCI and Riskmetrics, you have basically an index company, buying a software provider, a software and services provider. In the second case, you have an exchange buying an index company. And so it's interesting to see how, the different strategies among these market participants is coming together. For Riskmetrics, it's really bolting on products that, get them deeper and deeper into their current client base. Whereas with the CME, now they have control over a unit that is tasked with coming up with indices, which then the CME can then create other products around. So, and in fact, if you look back at the history of a lot of the equity indices, a lot was related to exclusive licenses of certain index products. So it'll be really interesting to see how some of the controversy over should you have multiple listed index futures now that the CME owns a creator of those indices. So that'll be interesting as well. But basically, the deal is that the index companies are being sold off to companies with a more strategic value. Then you can kind of understand where Rupert Murdoch is coming from and looking at the index business and saying, how does this really fit into my overall business plan? And the CME is looking at it and saying, hey, here's a way that we can more directly influence the product development of the products on our own exchanges.
Gotcha. Thank you. That's really interesting. Again, my name is Cheyenne Morgan, analyst at TABB Group, joined by our Director of Research, Adam Sussman at TABB Group. Thank you for joining us at TABB Forum.